66 views.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Madisonville. 6-0, the Crusaders leading over the Defenders here in the first extreme game of the week. All you missed was an onside kick attempt by the Crusaders, recovered by the Defenders, because of course the Defenders won the coin toss and deferred the first half. So the Defenders. And here's 2nd down and 6, ball snap and toss over by 5, complete. Somehow managed to hold on to it. This is tackle 57 Patrick Pembridge under Nathan Bland. It was a good catch by the Defenders. It looked like it was caught there by 11 Damon Benson. Managed to hold that in with the collision. It's now 2nd down and 5.
Looks like they listened to me and they said, well, we're going to do the opposite of what you said. They passing it first off right here and making completions, so that's good.
Yep, and here's an attempted run, spin out, another spin out. There's 24 of the Defenders he finally brought down. That's Caleb Jones, and it looks like he will be gaining the first down. Tried to say getting and gaining there at the same time, but that was a good first down by Caleb Jones.
You gotta wrap up. That should have been tackled right there. It should have been tackled about 5 yards back, but you got to wrap up as a defender. Not the defenders, but as a defensive player, you got to wrap up.
No pun intended there. Of course, Caleb Jones did get some spin-out moves there, but that is if you wrap up, that prevents the defensive moves there. And here's Jones again, ball on the ground, a little bit of a miscommunication. And there's a run up the middle and stopped for a loss of several yards on the play. Again, that's 11 Damon Benson attempting the run there for Madisonville. It was a good stop by the Crusaders.
Yeah, that's Tanner Sturgis on the tackle right there. That's his 2nd tackle in a row as a defensive line. Happy to see that. He was somebody I wanted to watch this game because I've never seen him before, never heard of his name before, but I just wanted to see how he was.
2nd down and 12, so not too much of a loss in the play, but a good gain after that missed snap, as there's Jones tossed it again to Damon Benson, and he's going down the left side. Damon Benson for the touchdown! And the Defenders are back in it.
That was a great run. I guess they might have listened to me because they kept it on the ground right there to score their touchdown. But it's them breakout plays though. There's been 2 breakout plays this game. The pass to the touchdown for Hendersonville, and then that breakout run. Great cuts. That was good speed with him as well.
That's a great way to start the second half for the Defenders, so they're now tied. We'll see if they have the same error that the Crusaders had with failing on the 2-point conversion attempt, but this could be big. So it looks like a little bit of an issue here as a weird offensive lineup there. Pitch out. That is one of the weirdest. It worked! And the referees ruled it good. That was a 2-point conversion made. That was a pitch by the center over to Damon Benson. Was that a legal play?
I guess it was. I don't know what to say about that.
That is one of the most interesting strategies I've ever seen on the 2-point conversion there.
Was that the first trick play of the year?
It looks like it was. That was the center. The center at the time was Chris Haig, who tossed it over to Damon Benson, and they ruled that a legal play. As long as you snap it backwards or a lateral in the backward direction, then it's fine. As long as it's not an illegal forward pass. But now it's 8-6. The Defenders have turned this around, and they have a 2-point lead over the Crusaders.
And 8 points coming from, well, it's really a whole team game, but that 8 points coming from David Benson, that was hey, he's starting to come up and be somebody in this game so far. He was a little quiet in the first half, but he's making a loud noise right now.
Just a 2-point conversion separating these 2 teams. So, of course, the Crusaders would need to get a safety to tie it, but of course they're going to go straight for the touchdown.
Now it's going to be interesting to see what they do, because as you've seen Hendersonville on their 2 kickoffs, they did onside. Let's see what Madisonville does on their kick. If they're going to try to kick it to the end zone or let them have a kickoff return, they're going to go onside. This is their first kick of the game.
Yeah, both these teams have been known to try onside kicks.
The Defenders to kick off.
believe that this is this may be the first kickoff for the defenders aside from the opening kickoff. It's just been back and forth, but we'll see what the defenders can do here. They may try an onside kick. No, they won't. They'll just squib it up, and that's picked up by 14 of the defenders. Luke Clements, and fumble picked up again by the Crusaders. So that was 14 velocity, made up for his own mistake there. Luke Clements picking up the ball.
I don't know, but I think we need to have a fumble count in this game. It's been happening, it seems like every drive.
Yeah, if there's one word that could describe this game so far, it's been fumbles.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's been the case. And I managed to talk with the head coach of the defenders, Danny Grass, during halftime, and he of course said that the guys keep your attitude. He of course addressed that about the players being ejected from the team. He said, you have to adjust it because it affects not only the players but it affects the team. Of course, saying, you gotta adjust from that, as well as you need to keep your tempo there. And he said, of course, obviously, with them being down 6-0 at the half, that they need to focus on securing the ball. Well, obviously, the Crusaders having a little bit of issues of securing the ball so far. And here is Bader, and tossed across the middle. It is caught, and still on his feet is number 14, and he is gone. Touchdown, Hendersonville. Luke Clements with the touchdown.
Man, that was a great play. I'm telling you that number 2, Justin Bader, that was a great pass on the cut right there to Clemens.
That was passed over to 14, Luke Clements. And that's a freshman too, making that catch.
He had a nice little stiff arm right here at the 40, and a nice little cut to get around defender. I thought number 4 from Madisonville was about to catch up to him right there at the end zone, but he made a dive. He wasn't able to bring him down on that. That was a great play. What a way to bounce back from the first score from Madisonville.
And this 2-point conversion is crucial. Otherwise, it's just a 4-point lead, and their touchdown essentially negated. So this 2-point conversion crucial here to make it a tie game, and the potential of stopping their 2-point conversion. So now Bader in the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers on right, 1 on left. A little bit of motion. Here's Bader looking for the pass, and he tosses it on the right, and it is incomplete. That's intended for 81 Peyton's shoulders. So now now with the touchdown, it is now 12-8. The Crusaders leading, but only by 4.
Score is 12-8, Crusaders 12, Defenders 8 with 10 minutes 23 seconds.
And just a score update for you guys. Christian Community dominating the Middle Tennessee Heat 60-8 right now. You would think the Heat would have put up a better fight against them, especially what we saw against the Crusaders, but Christian Community being dominant up there in I believe they're playing in Hermitage for the Heat's home games.
That just kind of shows you how dominant Christian Community is going to be, because we're watching Hendersonville, and the Heat was like toe-to-toe with Hendersonville really the last game they played, and Christian Community is really just dog-walking the Heat right now. So.
And of course, we'll get you the other score in a minute from the other game that's going on. I believe the last score update we got from South Haven Christian School, they were dominating the Bowling Green Warriors 40-20. They were in Bowling Green, so the Warriors hosting the Patriots and beating them and down 40-20 at the half. We'll give you score updates on that as well as they come in.
I'm just going to guess that this is going to be an onside kick right here.
And you guessed right. Perfect prediction, tipped up by the defenders and kept in possession, and that was Chris Haig. Chris Haig who recovered the ball there. So it's now 1st and 10 here for the defenders, down by 4 in their first home game. It's in the 3rd quarter.
It was tough for them. They were working all game. They get their first drive of their second half, and they score on it 8. They're up by 2. And then the next drive, literally the next drive from Hendersonville, they score off of another pass play. So their secondary, I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see what they try here on their first offensive play. They're down by 4, so it's not as much to worry about if they get a touchdown. instantly in the lead. But that's not going to matter to them as it's pushed through. 6-yard gain for 70, Gabe Ritchie. So we'll make it 2nd and 5, actually, just a gain of 5 yards.
This is kind of just an off talk, but isn't 70 a bit of a high number for a running back?
You're absolutely right. I mean, it's a high number. I mean, he might be a designated fullback, actually.
Yeah. But no matter what, he is really running the ball good.
So here's Gabe Ritchie going the right side. He loses the ball. Just a big mistake by Gabe Ritchie, and the defenders managed to recover it. But Gabe Ritchie just did not secure the ball in his arm there. As clear as day seen there, and the defenders still have it on about the looks like the 30-yard line, or about the 35-yard line. But just an unfortunate mistake there that luckily was recovered there by the defenders.
Yeah, there's Noah Marshall on the recovery of that loose ball right there. That was a good way for him to jump on it and wrap it up and make sure that the Hendersonville can rip it away from him.
So it's 1st and 10 for the defenders. A lucky fumble recovery from one of their own men. As here's Jones, fumbles the ball again. It's picked up in the backfield, picked up by 11. He manages to avoid several tackles, still on his feet, and here's 11 juking out several things. Great turnaround for the defenders after that fumble snap. That's Damon Benson making the big play there. And it's not 1st down, it's 2nd down there, but Damon Benson making a big play and saving his quarterback, Josh Jones, from making a humiliating fumble there.
Yeah, we can look at Damon Benson. That was a great play from him, but that was their 5th messed up snap this game. Center and the quarterback, they really need to have a talk at practice.
Looks like about 2nd and 1.
Yeah, I'm sure that the defenders will go into next week discussing their snapping situation there. As Jones hands it off, there's the 24. That's Caleb Jones going on the right side, and he gets forced out of bounds. And it looks like it will be for the 1st down, but one of the defenders, I'll let you in a little bit. Looks like it's 24, Caleb Jones in the pile. Just a good thing he's on his sideline there too, and he's going to be looked at.
I also want to make a bet. I bet that's a cramp right there.
Yeah, it might.
Seeing the way, because he wouldn't be able to move around like that if it wasn't a cramp.
Certainly hoping that it's just a cramp at the moment, and it's a good thing that he's on his sideline too, so they don't have to try to carry him over or go through any of that hassle. And they're going to get their medical staff over there to look at him and make sure everything's all right.
So while going back in there, I was looking, and it looks like number 44 is back at center for Madisonville. They switched him out a little bit in the
Marshall.
2nd quarter. They switched him out after the 4 messed up snaps, but it looks like he's back in there. But just really hoping that the snaps, they need to get him down. They practice it all week because I'm sure they're going over plays all the time during practice. I don't know, it might just be the first home game jitters.
It's very possible, and first home game for them, you're right. It could very well be that they're just trying to shake off some queasy feelings.
Oh, and I got in touch with Eddie's family. He is a senior this year.
He's a senior, and unfortunately getting ejected from this game. It is a sad thing to see, and he may not play next week. But with that, he still definitely has a good future ahead of him in the rest of this season, even with an independent team.
Yeah, I'm really hoping, because I'm feeling like it's not a cramp anymore, because they would have continued the game if it was. And now that they are stopping, I see anyone call a timeout, but I'm pretty sure no one has. It might be an injury timeout. But I hope it's just a cramp. And it looks like it is. He's walking up.
Yeah, Caleb Jones now walking on his leg a little bit, just trying to get that cramp settled. Again, of course, it obviously is probably just a cramp, or it may just be a pulled muscle or anything, something like that, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to walk on it if it were.
Good thing it's nothing serious for the 2nd game this season. If it was something serious, that would have been a big loss for him.
So the playback in session here as Jones hands it off. There's Benson again going on the the left side here, and he's still pushing through. Gets down to about the 5-yard line. About the 4-yard line, so it's 1st and goal here for Madisonville.
I I'm wondering where he was first half, because he has been lighting it up the second half so far in this third quarter. He has been the man to give the ball to and watch this quarter so far.
Now 1st and goal here for the defenders as Jones has Ritchie to his right. Here's the ball, fumbled snap again as Jones will be brought down in the backfield. This, honestly, you would figure that the coach would pull the center from this game already, or give a big lecture in the huddle here about you need to get the snaps right the first time. But so far, about 6 to 7 mishandled snaps or mishandled balls. That's come from the center and the quarterback.
I can understand that being the second week, but I can understand the first 3 or 4. Like, this is number 6. That was number 6. I don't understand it. It's the second week. I understand that it's kind of new jitters and stuff, but so you got to take that off. And I don't really understand.
And that was Hunter Benson taking the run on the right side. It looked like maybe a yard or two in that play, but it's 3rd down and long after that snap. So 3rd down now for the defenders.
Just going to take a wild guess that they're going to give it to Benson right here.
Spot.
Just
Yeah, looking by the formation, just a wild guess. They don't give it to Benson, and Jones tosses it over, recepted in. That's Chris Haig keeping the ball. He's staying up. He'll be called for forward progress. Not enough to get the first down, but that's a decent play by Chris Haig and the defense, stopping that forward progress.
That was a good play. It looks like they're getting in their passing rhythm right now, because they have had some complete passes this third quarter, but they did score first on the run, but they might be looking to score off the pass on this one.
What we can especially see here is that the defenders are trying to at least do something decent here. It is 4th and goal. The defenders just having a little bit of struggles here, and we may see a touchdown here. It's pitch out, ball fumbled again, picked up by the defenders. That's picked up by number 2 Justin Bader, a defenseman and starting quarterback. Picked it up there. Just another mishandled ball by the defenders. There are going to be a lot of drills in practice to go over that.
Yeah, now it's really less. It's not less. It's more of the center and the quarterback. And that's the 2nd or 3rd mishandled handoff right there.
Yeah, and that was just a pitch between the quarterback and his running back, and that's the 2nd or 3rd of that type. But we've seen at least in total about ball mishandles by the defenders around getting towards the 20s.
That's 7 mess ups happening in the backfield, including the center, and that we're just getting at the start of the play. You don't like seeing that, and you don't like having that happen.
Crusaders ball.
So the Crusaders now have possession here, 1st and 10 on about the 15-yard line. Here's Bader with Douglas to his right. Bader hands it, fake handoff to Douglas, and Bader going up the middle. He's going to be lost. He's being chased by several defenders, and it looked like he had a trip up there, and his leg may be a little bit shooken up there as he goes out of bounds around the 33-yard line. Justin Bader with an amazing run. Gets all the way into defender territory, and that's a 1st down.
And it looks like over there on the far sideline on Harrison's eye-line, number 4, Hunter.
That's Hunter Benson.
Hunter Benson over there on the sideline had a run off, and I saw that he was limping, running towards the tackle to block him off to the out of bounds.
Hunter Benson, he does come back into the game, though. Looks like it was just a little bit of a shakeup he had there on his leg, so nothing serious for Hunter Benson.
They might need to bring him out, check him out. You don't want anything serious at the second week.
Gabe Ritchie in for him just temporarily while Hunter Benson looks back at his cramping leg there. Looks like a little bit of cramp disease going on this team, or cramp plague would be the better term for it, but let's hope it doesn't continue as
Hunter Benson being a senior this year, you don't want to see him get injured at all, miss any weeks.
motion on the play as Bader snaps it, pitches it out to 22, who's going on the right side. He is clipped from his legs, and that's 22 of the defenders. Trying to find his number on the roster here, and it doesn't look like it is there. It's another, or excuse me, that's the Crusaders 22. Joseph Muznung is getting there. That's why we can't find a 22 on the defenders roster. That was Muznung, and the tackle made there looked like by
number 8, but we do not have his name.
Yeah, we don't have.
Oh, yes, we do. It is
Zach Eastwood. Again, the roster reflecting some numbers of jerseys that the players are not wearing tonight.
That could have been the hit of the season so far. He was coming in fast, and I thought he was about to get lit up right there.
And of course, Zach Eastwood getting that clip on the legs there. It's a clean tackle. It's a very risky one when you take it like that. As Bader with motion on the play, and it looks like the Crusaders have a fumble there, and Bader will take a huge loss on the play. It'll be 3rd down and about 17.
We've only seen that about once this game, I believe.
The Crusaders have their snapping situation figured out, but the defenders will have to really work on that going into practice.
That's probably what's really bringing them back, is they might be in the lead if they didn't have them 7 mess-ups or probably about 4 or 5 turnovers because of it.
And the defenders, of course, trying to just keep another score from happening, as the Crusaders are leading 12-8 right now. If my scoreboard is correct over here, or scoreboard, yep. Trent having to keep these manually because the scoreboard down here is a TV monitor that we cannot read. It's all the way distant there, not enough lumens on it, as Bader scrambles around on the left side, deep toss, intended, and it is caught by 81, wide open on the left side for the touchdown. Peyton Shoulders, the Crusaders go up by another 6.
Yeah, that was a good play right there, but I'm going to be honest, the offensive line got away with a block in the back on 71 right there.
It looks like Tanner Varney. It's like Tanner Varney was blocked on the defense there, offensive block in the back. So Tanner Varney, 71, looked like he was a victim of that. No penalty called. Looks like that'll be the 2-point conversion here. And of course, it's hard. There are moments where the referees just don't see the penalty, therefore they cannot call it. So it's not their fault.
Like my first couple practices, the defensive line coach at Mississippi College told me that there's no such thing as holding because they're never going to call it.
That's why the Vice here's a 2-point conversion. Reversal pitch. There's 22. Joseph Muznung going on the left side, and he'll make it in. So the Crusaders got that 2-point conversion. So it is now 22-8. The Crusaders leading. Still in the 3rd quarter here for the extreme game of the week.
They can come back. They just need to get their legs under them. They need to light that fire that they had at the beginning of the second half, the beginning of the half. They just need to get that fire back under them, and what made them get that first score. It's only 12 points. That's 2 touchdowns with no 2-point conversions. They can do it. They can do it. I can see them doing it because they are a good, strong defensive team. It's just they just have them blown up plays where it's just that one play.
So it's now 20-8. The Crusaders leading over the defenders here at home. And another score update: the Christian Community Colts are leading the Heat 60-14. So the Heat managed to get a score in there and a 2-point conversion. So they're having a little bit more hopes to try and catch up there, but it's a long way to go, especially after I believe the score was 68 to 6. I believe the score was
60 to 6.
Well, 68 to 6. I'm talking about the Sacred Heart game last week. I have to look back on that one, but it was a huge margin that the Colts defeated the national defending champion Sacred Heart of Jesus High School Knights. So Christian Community staying dominant. And James did make on his predictions that the Colts would go 9-1 and win the MTAC North Division, which is very possible for them with the way they've been playing the last 2 games. And we'll cover them next Friday as they host Franklin Christian Academy up in White House. And another onside kick easily recovered by number 71, Tanner Varney. Like I was saying, next Friday we will be live from White House. We're covering the Franklin Christian Academy Falcons traveling up to White House to face off against the Christian Community School Colts.
That's gonna be a fun game, Lighthouse versus Christian Community.
Oh yeah, and between two of the more decent teams in the South. Now, FCA coming off that loss last week, I believe it was 20-14 the score. It was a minimal point margin of the Freedom Cowboys beating the FCA Falcons, and of course they lost to the Freedom last year by a margin of 2 points. It was 36-34, so just by a 2-point conversion. So with that being said, you know, the Falcons are going into Christian Community with, you know, a loss on their plate. They have a bye week this week, so it'll be interesting to see what they do going up to White House.
Number 40 being taken off the field right here, trying, I guess, to do an Ezekiel Elliott type jersey wear right here, but 44 coming in to replace him.
That was Ethan Taylor who got taken off. 44, Noah Marshall, and a deep pass on the right side, incomplete. Looked like it could have been an attempted diving catch there by Damon Benson, but just didn't see the ball in time to make that. So deep pass there, and it is now 2nd down.
That was good pressure by 70 on the left side. To the quarterback. I really thought that he was Josh Jones was about to throw a touchdown right there. Just, you know, mine just got lost in the lights. And
with that, it is the end of the first quarter. Only 12 minutes left in this game. 20-8 the score. The Crusaders dominating. Or not necessarily dominating, but it is 20-8 the score that the Crusaders leading over the Defenders. Again, just a reminder, thank you for tuning in to today's Extreme Game of the Week Part 1. Spencer Thompson and Trent Legate here from Madisonville, Kentucky, broadcast today's game in color.
Y'all should probably subscribe because we will be doing this every week. We will announce on our show what games we'll be at for that following week.
And of course, if you follow us on Twitter, 8Man Extreme, just look us up, and we have our helmet schedule that has annotations of which games we'll be broadcasting from every Friday and Saturday. We had to cut some games off because of some teams dropping out after we had published the helmet schedule, but such as Tennessee School for the Deaf. But we will still be covering several games, and we'll be reminding everybody on our Extreme Radio show built by MDI Construction Inc. every Sunday at 4 p.m. which games we will be covering.
Now right here, Madisonville needs a touchdown. They need to get points on the board. They need to get points on the board on this drive for me to really see if they are going to really make a comeback. They're down 12, so it ain't far. It's 2 touchdowns. But you got to get this touchdown, then they got to make a stop, and they got to get another. I think they can do it because their defense and offense is working, I believe, way better than last year's already.
Now, we just want to give you a quick warning here. It's going to be later in the quarter, but we will have to sort of have the video off. We will be taking the charging case that I have on my phone right now off so we could switch back to the handheld mic for the post-game interviews. That'll be more towards the end of the 4th quarter, depending on the competition. There's a train passing by the field as there's number 11 of the Defenders staying on his feet. He is still up, and that's number 11, Damon Benson, with a decent run. And Damon having a great run up to the 30-yard line, gets the first down and a little bit more.
I'm a little baller right there. I saw a bit of a blatant horse collar right there, but no call's going to be called.
Yeah, it looks like it was a little bit of a horse collar there, but he still had forward progress. It would have been a good addition if he had gotten that penalty in his favor, but he did get a good gain nonetheless.
Like I'm saying, Damon Benson is becoming somebody in this half to watch. I didn't really notice him that much in the first half, but in this second half, he has been probably the player to watch on Madisonville.
And here's Jones again. Motion on the play. Jones fakes the pitch to Benson and hands it off to 24 Caleb Jones, who's going on the left side. He's brought down by many Crusaders. He's brought down for a big loss of 6 yards. 2nd down and 16.
That was good pressure by the defender's line and their middle linebacker core to get up there, stop it right there. Even for a tackle of loss, that is good. On the defender's side, I've been talking a lot about what Madisonville might want to do, but on the defender's side, they don't want to keep this pressure on. Keep your foot on the gas. is what you're wanting to do against Madisonville right now.
So now 2nd down and it's like about 15. Here's Jones, hands it off to 70. Another high number for running back, and 70 is off to the races. Number 70, touchdown for Gabe Ritchie. And the defenders get some more points on the board. This game is not over.
That was a great run by number 70. I'm just saying they scored twice by the what I said they should be doing. I'm just saying that right there.
You got a wire on you, or are they listening to you on the sideline?
I do gotta say though, he should be a little bit careful. He did kind of spike the ball right there, but understand it's in the heat of the moment. That's a great job from Madisonville, doing what I said that they should need to probably do on this drive. Good score. Let's see if they can get it up to where it can be.
So it's now 20-14. If they get this 2-point conversion, then that would make them able to take a touchdown and lead, and it is no good. So 20-14 the score, a touchdown separating the Crusaders' lead from the defenders.
That was a great run by number 70, Gabe Ritchie. As he wasn't the starter, but he's coming in off the bench, and he's probably been one of the more better people coming off the bench this game, because he has been a good runner in this game. As I recently joked around about number 70 being a little bit high for a runner, but still that was a good run. Very fast and big person, big shoulders to knock your people down.
So now awaiting the kickoff for the defenders. Supposed to be kicking off the ball here. It looks like we do, if you hear a ringing noise, that's our train passing by the field here and just grinding against the track. So it's 20-14 right now in the fourth quarter. 11 minutes, 23 seconds, as the PA announcer just made. 11 minutes, 23 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. It's 20-14. The defenders down by 6 to the Crusaders. It's a really close game here in Madisonville.
It would be something for Madisonville to come up in this game and being down and being able to get their first win of their franchise history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and onside kick recovered by the Crusaders, and they'll get it at about the 40-yard line. That's number 57, is either Nathan Bland or Patrick Pembridge making that recovery. And 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Christian Community High School Colts are leading the Tennessee Heat 60-22. So Christian Community will go 2-0 to start their season. They'll go 1-0 in their conference, and that'll be a good motivation for them going against Franklin Christian Academy next week. That's my home school, of course, but you know, Christian Community, a dominant force. Who knows how that game will end up.
Yeah, but I'm going to say right now, this is probably the game to watch out of all the games that are going on right now. This Friday in MTech, this is probably the game to watch, because all the other ones are blowouts. This is very close, and I am enjoying it a lot, being 14-20. This is a good game right here.
To be fully honest, we did consider at first, because of the blowout we saw that South Haven did, we considered not coming in, or switching broadcast games to have a better, higher competition. I'm glad we didn't switch. There was no need to switch because we were at a good game here. So, with that, there's Jones again, deep pass for the Crusaders on the right side. He is just through the hands of Blaine Douglas. But a flag on the play. It looks like it'll be pass interference called on the defenders. And I believe with the rules, not sure how Kentucky officiating rules are, but I believe they will place the ball at the spot of the foul, with the pass interference being more than 15 yards. That'll of course be up to the determination of the referee. We'll see what he signals here. Pass interference on the defense, so they will place that, or it looks like they will just enforce it 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. So that will still result in a 1st and 10, but that's a good break for the Crusaders. Was there pass interference on that play though?
It was, because being the cornerback, you got to keep the eyes on the ball and on the defender. at all times. But at the very end, right when the ball is coming down, and he switched his head from the ball to the defender, you can't do that. You got to watch the ball like the receiver has to watch the ball. It's really hard to play cornerback nowadays.
Now, as you all know who are listening on broadcast, no puns intended when we say defenders. Defensive, of course. You guys know me for playing dad jokes on the Extreme Radio built by NDI Construction Inc., but that's Trent's words. So whether he's intending a pun or not, that's up to him.
No pun intended.
Here's the Crusaders on their first down after that pass interference penalty, as Jones going on the left side, and Jones going on the left, switches out of tackle, and he stays on his feet, and he will get in for the touchdown. Justin Bader.
That was a great run by Justin Bader, and he is probably, if at the end of this one, if he keeps on going what he is, he might be the player of the game in my opinion, because it all starts with the quarterback, and I'm going to assume he is the leader of his team, and if he is being a great one.
And Justin Bader with a great run on the left side, great weaving through the defense and avoiding those tackles there. As a defender, you gotta hate that. You gotta really just beat yourself up mentally for that, with missing those tackles when you're supposed to wrap up.
And this could also be going in. This is only your second week. Some people might not be as conditioned as others, and that could be playing the fact they both look kind of tired. Because now the score is starting to run up, where it was really defensive heavy the second half. It looks like it's going to be offensive heavy second half. Sorry, first half was defensive heavy. Second half might seem like it's going to be offensive heavy.
And that two-point conversion is good. Pass from Bader to Peyton Shoulders. So the score now 28 to 14, I believe the score is that we have. Yep, 28 to 14. The Crusaders leading by 14 over the Defenders.
Yeah, I know we're supposed to be not biased, but I am still going for Madisonville. I want to see them get that first win of their franchise with the football team, and there's still a chance because they got that touchdown. If they wouldn't have got that touchdown and then the defenders would have got theirs, I would have said there might not be a chance for them, but because they did get that touchdown.
Defenders 14.
There's another train coming through.
Because they got that touchdown, I feel like now they might have a chance into doing it, but they are down 14.
Yeah, they're down 14 right now. Anybody has a chance to make it back, but late in the getting towards late in the fourth quarter here, it's looking less and less likely. And 2 minutes 10 seconds left in the third quarter, up in Bowling Green, just about an hour or so away from us. The score 46-20. South Haven leading over the Patriots leading over the Warriors. So kind of a close game, a little bit of what we saw last week with Hendersonville and the Heat around that range there, but the Bowling Green Warriors is having a little bit of struggles against the Patriots. And we saw them dominate against the Crusaders last week, so they certainly have the ability to keep that momentum going. As another onside kick, lo and behold, as it's picked up finally. It went by several defenders and it's picked up finally. That's 17. Ryan Barding picking that up, so we'll see what the defenders can do here on offense.
And does it happen often?
Sorry about that brief interruption there, ladies and gentlemen, as 17 tries running it up the middle. That was Ryan Barding running it there. Sorry about that brief interruption again. Just had a little bit of connection issues there. As we were saying, we're not biased towards any team, and Trent said here before the cutout suddenly happened that he's really seeing Madisonville potentially being the upset team. We'll see what they can do here in the fourth quarter if they are actually the team to upset. But as of now, it's 28-14. They've got 14 points to put up on the board. And the score right now, the final score, the Christian Community beats the Middle Tennessee Heat 60-22. That's the final score there. And it's 28-14 here. The Defenders down by 14 in their first home game.
Don't forget the concession stand.
I'm not going to say anything yet because it's not the end of the game, but I really am believing Madisonville is going to be able to come up and in this drive and score right here, because from what I'm seeing, their drives are getting better and better right now. but that could be because the defense of Harrisonville side is getting really tired right now. I think it's working both ways, but I still believe Madisonville can come through and still get the W out of this.
Only 8.5 minutes left to go in this ball game, and the intensity has been kept all throughout, just a close game and everything. The PA announcer here in stadium just having too much fun, as are we. As the defenders on offense, looks like 2nd down and 9. So here's Jones, another fumbled snap, but keeps it around here as Jones scrambling around. It won't, almost brought down by 7 and finally brought down. It takes several Crusaders to get him on the ground. It looks like it's about 3rd down and 16.
That's very good by the defensive line there, getting back there, messing it up. Number 7, which I don't know if he's defensive line or not, but I think he is on the he's the left end for Hendersonville. Almost ripped the ball from Josh Jones right there. So that could have been an amazing defensive play for the defensive line.
Yeah, and Josh Jones has been excellent with scrambling around in the pocket when his offensive line fails him. As the pass caught by 23, Chris Haig gets to about the 38-yard line, so it's about 4th down and 8. The defenders, of course, it's do or die time for them essentially.
And it is real good though that you're looking back at what was working. It was not working first half for Madisonville, is now working for them in the second half. Like the passing right there. That's starting to work for them now in the second half.
And here's 4th down. Madisonville, flags thrown. We'll see if this is a false start.
Defenders, motion on the play.
Yep, false start for the defenders. It's back again. It's 4th and 7, so that'll make it 4th down and 12.
And another thing that I'm just now thinking of, they're a young team. This is they only had their first
second year.
Yeah, this is their second year. They are a young team, so some of them, some of the seniors that, you know, technically should be veterans, this could be their second year ever playing football in the high school level. So it's also kind of that as well of they don't have as much experience as everyone else as a full team.
That's unfortunately has shown so far, as here goes for Hunter Benson. Big hit by Benson, staying on his feet in bounds. It takes a whole pile pushing him out of bounds to keep him out, and it looks like that was an injury on the play.
That
it
was
looks
not
like
good by number 4 at all. You do not lower your head to head on a hit like that. His defender was looking at the ground, not looking up at him, and he lowered his head. Popped hit. That could very well be a concussion.
So 32 for the Crusaders. Bailey Ridings is down. The head coach Daniel Meek ran over just as the referees blew the whistle. It's an illegal block in the back called on the offense. It's been declined, and the result of that play will be a 1st down for the Crusaders. They'll take over on downs.
And then I saw that was coming up because I saw that the defender dropped his head down, which as a defender you're taught never to look down, never to lead head first. But he did right there, and that's the reason why these coaches preach so much of never going head first and then a tackle, because of this might happen. This could be a concussion, and in that saying, which is terrible for him, which means he would have to sit out the next game. Potentially
a majority of the season as well, because the concussion takes a while to recover from.
The concussion is very serious. That's a bruise to the brain. Whenever I went to Mississippi College, we had to take a test before we even got on the practice field to make sure that we didn't have any signs of concussion. So it's a very big deal, and we're really hoping that it's not a concussion.
Of course, the score 24-18. Crusaders leading over the defenders. Looks like we don't have a time update here. Again, the scoreboard really far down there to try and see, but the Crusaders will take over the ball. And with that, this will be a good time for us to take off the case of my phone. So we're just going to mute the mic for a second, and we will be back in just a moment. Injury timeout. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We just got the handheld mic up and running. Hopefully we should have enough battery for the rest of the broadcast. If not, then see, it did charge almost the entire battery case, so it should be good to go for the rest of the broadcast. And the medical staff was summoned from the Defenders side over to the Crusaders side, so they'll be looking at
32.
Yeah, that's Bailey Ridings of the Crusaders. It's a sad thing to see, and hopefully he's going to be all right and not have any serious signs of concussion or CTE or anything.
Yeah, I mean, it goes different from being football just to like that's real life right there. I mean, football is real life, but that is like real life. But that could be, if that is a concussion, I'm sure they're going to get him checked out, but that's a very, very serious injury.
The play will resume here. The Crusaders turn it over on downs as they take over here on about the 40-yard line. And here is Bader, who pitches out to his right, and there goes 22. Avoids several tackles and a block in the back call. It looks like there was a flag down. So regardless of this result, it looks like it's going to be brought back. But that was 22. Joseph Musnug with a great run. And I mean,
blocking the back, number 81, I'm pretty sure.
So that's blocking the back called on Peyton's shoulders, 81. So it looks like this ball will be brought back, but we'll see what the referee calls here. You got to give credit to Joseph Musnug on that play. He's had a lot of skill going through this game and weaving through the defense.
Yeah, number 22. I mean, just like looking at him right here, he is short and fast on his step. That is someone you really want going through your front line on your running, because you want someone that kind of looks like a LaShawn McCoy type run right there.
And they did bring the ball back here, so it's now 4th down. Excuse me, they just changed it here. It's 1st down and 15. They brought it back from the spot of the foul. So 1st and 10 for the Crusaders.
1st and 12?
Well, so it looks like 1st and 15.
Not 15. 13 probably. That's a cheating one.
1st and 15 for the Crusaders. Clock still winding down here in Madisonville in the 4th quarter. As the Crusaders, if they get one more score, would essentially end the game. As Justin Bader, running on the right side, goes out of bounds. He could have gone a little bit farther. Decides to go out of bounds at about the 33-yard line, it looks like. About the 33, 32-yard line. That'll be 2nd down and 4. So the final score, it looks like the final score from Bowling Green, the South Haven Christian School Patriots beat the Bowling Green Christian Academy Warriors 52-20. So we've had 2 blowouts. Christian Community now 2-0, South Haven now 2-0, and we may see Hendersonville go 2-0 tonight as well. So we may have 3 undefeated teams in MTAC, both in conference and out of conference.
I want to say really quickly that South Haven might be a story for this year in MTAC. Going, what was it?
Oh, they went 0 and they lost the national championship in 2015. They won every single game but lost the national championship. Then they went 0 and 8. They went 0 and 8, and they broke their streak of 0 and 9. As here's 22 again, Joseph Musnug. He's still weaving through, and he gets the 1st down and more to about the 20-yard line. Again, Joseph Musnug, the senior, 5'6", 125 pounds. You mentioned it yourself with him short, having that sidestep and easy to maneuver his body. This Joseph Musnug, a dominant running back tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but I'm pretty sure that 32 is their starting running back, and he's just in there. Yeah, he's in there. He's a wide receiver marked down here, and they put him down as running back. And from what it looks like, they should probably try to do that a little bit more.
Yeah, Bailey Riding's a good player in tonight's game as well for the Crusaders. Just good football all around here, and not an entire blowout, just a good competition between the Defenders and the Crusaders.
And hoping that number 32 is okay over on the sideline, because he would be starting in the backfield right now, probably. But I'm pretty sure the coaches aren't going to let him play, because that might very well be a concussion.
That's a delay of game called on the offense, so they'll bring the ball back 5 yards. So 1st and 15 here for Crusaders on the 19-yard line in defenders' territory, so it's going to be a good scoring opportunity here for Hendersonville.
From the 22-yard line of the defenders.
So, of course, Hendersonville in motion on the play, and here's Bader, pitches out to Douglas. Here's Blaine Douglas going on the left side, and Douglas staying inbounds all the way up to the 19-yard line. So it's now about second down and about 9 or second down and 8, it looks like.
Second and 8 for the Crusaders.
So about second and 8.
That's kind of tricky at the start of the play because I thought number 7 was going to the right side of the field, and then he cut back right there to get that quick toss from Justin Bader. Sorry, I'm struggling with the names, but I'll get them during the season while the season goes on. But if you're Madisonville, you are going to want to make this stop right here. They did it earlier in the game, and let's see if they can do it right here. I believe they can, but we'll just see.
Defenders need to stop them here. We need to get the
So
ball
it's
back and
a
put 6 on the board.
14-point deficit. Biased PA announcer here, as they always are. He's saying they need to stop here.
18-yard line.
we love him though, even though we don't know his name. We love him. There's second down and 8 here for the Crusaders. Past the 22 again. Muznog gets to about the 10-yard line, about the 9-yard line. So it's now first down and goal for the Crusaders.
Actually, it's a first down.
First down and 10 for the Crusaders, or actually no, first down and goal.
First and goal for the Crusaders. First and 10. It's about a foot away from the.
Wish we had the time right now to let y'all know how much time was going left, but sadly we don't.
So we're gonna guess about 6.5 minutes, something around that range, as the Crusaders are trying to score again here to effectively end the defender's chance of getting it here, as Bader is struggling around in the pocket looking for the pass, and he tossed it in the left side. He just caught for the touchdown. Blaine Douglas. What a play by Justin Bader.
30-14.
That was another. Justin Bader, he can scramble and throw on the run. So that was good defensive pressure. Sadly, number 44 seemed like he just slipped on the cut to go get the quarterback, help out 71, they're in. That was a good rush, but on Justin Bader, if you pressure him, he's going to scramble and make a play. It's really hard to see how you can compete or go up against a quarterback like that.
Actually reminds me a little bit of Ashlock, the senior quarterback last year for Sacred Heart. He knew how to scramble around the pocket, buy time, and find the pass there. So it's 34-14 the score, an incomplete pass. The 2-point conversion, no good. So 34-14, a 20-point lead for the Crusaders over the defenders. It essentially looks like this game is unfortunately over for the defenders, but they may have a chance to make it back here. Again, thank you for tuning in to the Extreme Game of the Week. This is part 1. Part 2, of course, down from Fayetteville. James Shannon and Trent Legate will be live in Fayetteville for the Clash of the Knights. The Franklin Classical School Knights traveling down to the Riverside Christian Academy Knights. And their coverage of that begins around 6:30 Central Standard Time here on the 8-Man Extreme YouTube channel, part of the Extreme Sports Network. So not a huge blowout here in Madisonville. The game not over yet, but the score 34-14, so a 20-point difference. But it was really close at halftime with the score being 8-6.
Well, yeah, it was kind of actually it was close to the third quarter, not just the half, but it was close to the third quarter. Hendersonville was just going on in this fourth quarter. Probably, I didn't watch the Heat game, but I'm going to assume probably what they did against the Heat.
Yeah, the Heat game, it was the Middle Tennessee Heat, formerly the Tennessee Heat. They had a 6-0 lead at the end of the first quarter, and that was the only lead that they had in the entire game. But Hendersonville, they have not allowed a lead for the defenders except at halftime when it was 8-6. Another onside kick, and that's picked up by the defenders. Number 71, Tanner Varney. So now we'll see if the defenders can do anything here.
And if I'm a coach and if I get this game and if I hear about how many times they onside kicked it, I would not expect them to do a down the field kick. It's just that was their 6th time.
Pretty much we have not seen. We've seen one squib kick, but all the rest onside
About
kicks.
2 minutes left in the fourth
Yeah, I guess
quarter.
they just don't want to kick down the field, maybe because it's too short. I don't really know because I don't know what they did in the Madisonville Heat game.
So we've got about, I believe the PA announcer said about 5 minutes left here, and a deep pass by 17, taking the reins of quarterback, and off the shoulder pad of 11, Damon Benson. It looks like, and that was a pass by 17. That's Ryan Barden. Was doing a little flea flicker action there, but unfortunately, Benson couldn't make either the shoulder catch or the helmet catch there.
Yeah, I kind of like hit off his helmet right there like that. It's really hard because it wasn't really going. It wasn't really going to him. It kind of bounced off the defender. It'd been amazing if he couldn't make that catch and give him an opportunity to come back.
We'll of course see if the defenders can get any luck on this drive. It's essentially you have to score here, or the Crusaders will just run down the clock. And it looks like a timeout will be called by the Crusaders. It's an interesting reason for them to take a timeout. So it's right now 34-14 the score, and not much left in this game. What we're gonna do now is get the tripod set up full extension. We're gonna try going down to the field a little bit and be ready for the sideline interviews or post-game interviews and post-game analysis on the field. So we're gonna go ahead and get the tripod moved a little bit here. So don't freak out at us if you see moving around.
Is it muted right now? Okay. I turned the mic down. So what are we doing?
I'm getting this set up so that we can do the sideline stuff.
Are we going to keep it like right here though?
I'm gonna keep this right here. Yeah. All right, so back live. We just extended the tripod a bit so we can take it down and be ready for the sideline interviews and such. So we got a little bit of a different angle here as so run for the defenders, number 8.
Run on the play, Zach Eastwood, almost to the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1 for the defenders.
Foster there. That was number 8 of the defenders, which Zach Eastwood. And should make the run there, and essentially, the defenders gave it a good run. We'll say that because a 20-point deficit at this late in the game and such, with the way they're playing it doesn't look possible for them to make it back, unfortunately. But and there's Ryan Barding, deep right pass to the right, and that'll be picked up by number 2 of the Crusaders, and he just goes down to effectively try to end the game. That was Justin Bader with the interception there, and just a good defensive move.
Yeah, and if you're Hendersonville, you're just going to want to run the clock out here, get less chance of one of your players getting injured or this last drive. It's probably what they're going to do here is just run the ball, keep it in bounds, not call any timeouts, just run this clock out.
And the Crusaders will take over. He's the guy in the white shorts there, the dark shirt.
Oh, the guy that can throw it 80 yards?
Right next to 2. You want to get 2 and the guy, the coach next to him. So I want you to go over and say, hey, can we do a post game? Get him over the camera. I'm going to get a coach getting grass from
Did you see me getting a...
And here are the Crusaders. They will just knee it down, and it looks like they're going to run down the clock a little bit here. We're going to get the camera moved down so we can go onto the field for our post-match interviews and analysis.
Let's go and get everything on.
Looks like they're going to do the victory formation again. Just going to do victory formation to try and run down the clock here. So it's 34 to 14. Looks like it's going to be the final score. The Crusaders will go 2-0 on the season as they head next week. Still unbeaten, and the Defenders will start out their season 0-2. It looks like that is time. That is ball game. 34 to 14 the score. The Defenders unfortunately take a loss.
Score 34-14.
The coach.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. We had a great turnout.
Coaching number 2.
Great game by the Defenders and the Crusaders tonight.
All right, so we're going to try and get the post-match thing in prayer here. We'll get a word from the Defenders head coach, as well as we'll try to get a word from Coach Grass. We'll get a word from him, from the Defenders, and we'll hopefully get a word from Bader of the Crusaders, as well as Coach Meek. Now here's the post-game handshakes and everything. We'll get that on film here in live stream. No, they're gonna mix it up here for their post-game home.
Circle up, fellas. Circle up. Tanner! Tanner! Come here, circle up. Circle up. Pick it up. Pick it up. You good, bro? Yeah. Hey, real quick, hurry. Hurry, we got a long drive. Hurry. Mix it up, mix it up. Long drive. Mix it up, everybody. Mix it up. Hey, a couple mistakes at the beginning of the game that shouldn't have happened on both sides of the ball. Our team, we apologize for everything that happened. No hard feelings. Hope everybody's still okay. Everybody's healthy. 32, you good? I'm good. All right, that's good. No injuries tonight, so that's good. Good luck to Hendersonville and the rest of your season. Be safe heading home. Coach, you got anything?
No, thank you guys. Thank you guys. I mean, no hard feelings. I told my guys, I know y'all were, after that, we were jacked up, y'all are jacked up. It happens in football sometimes. You know, we got to remember it's just a game, and this is not what's most important in life, guys, okay? Hey, I appreciate the way that you guys, every time I've seen y'all play harder and harder and harder. And that's unbelievable, speaking to you guys' character, to not just shut down. You guys play so unbelievably hard, okay? That's something you can build on, okay? Appreciate the good game. Glad you guys finally got a home game, okay? Keep building on this for you guys, okay? All right, thanks, Coach.
Josh, you want to lead us?
We'll try to get an interview from Coach Danny Grass in just a moment. Try to weed through everybody here.
Good game, man.
Coach. We're here with head coach Danny Grass from the Defenders. Now, congratulations on your first home game, coach, and getting that out under your belts and being able to have a home turf where your fans are closer and be able to cheer and such. Not the result you may have wanted, but as Coach Meek did say in the postgame, you guys fought hard and continually tried to push up and do other stuff. So, what can you take positively from this game? Going forward to the season. I know that an 0-2 start is not at all what you wanted to start with, but with your home game and such, and being able to put up this many points against Hendersonville, what are you going to take going into this game? Or going into next game, sorry.
We're just going to keep getting better, keep working harder at practice. We're bound to get that win. It's in due time. Maybe we'll get it the next game. I think we've got an off week next weekend, so we'll come out. It gives us more time to practice and get ready for the following week. I don't even remember right now off the top of my head who we got the following week. Thinking it's Bowling Green, which we fared up pretty good with them in the scrimmages and everything. They're still a tough team. Like I said, you can't underestimate any team that we play against. Hendersonville came out tonight with, I think, 13 or 12 guys. They finished with 10, and they went 10 strong and came out on top. Got to work on we just got to work. Defense has got to work better on covering receivers. My offensive guys got to do a better job covering the ball up and running the ball. I thought everybody ran the ball good tonight. It's just that first quarter just hurt us, especially with two of our key defensive players going out of the game tonight. It makes a big difference when you're losing two of your key starters.
Of course, the final score from Bowling Green. Bowling Green lost to South Haven, the Christian School Patriots, who you guys lost to us. They lost 52-20. So that was the final score on that game. So South Haven stays 2-0, and I believe Bowling Green goes to 0-1 because they had a bye week in the first week. But you guys are against Bowling Green next week. So that's the Battle of the Bluegrass. I believe we will be broadcasting that game, so we'll be happy to see that game. Thanks for your time, Coach.
You're welcome. Yeah.
All right, we'll get an interview with these guys from Hendersonville in just a moment. Looks like we got them on camera. So first we got head coach Daniel Meek. Now congratulations on the 2-0 start here, Coach.
Thank you.
Now you mentioned yourself, it happens in football. You guys get heated and everything. You luckily did not have any of your players ejected from tonight's game, and there's unfortunately two of the defenders ejected and such. Any additional comment that you have on that whole situation?
No, I've played football since I was in 6th grade. My coaches have played football for a long time, and that's not the first time that people get heated in a physical sport, and it's not the last time. So, no, the young man that started it came over and apologized. He said, I shouldn't have done that. That's not who I am. And he went over and apologized to our player whose helmet he ripped off. And hey, bygones, it's in the past. Okay?
Absolutely. It's good sportsmanship on that part. Now, you guys have started out 2-0 on your season, and not sure who you guys are playing next week, but you have
yeah, we play Webb next week, so we got to get healthy. We're nicked up and dinged, and we got down to only 10 guys tonight. So we came in here with 14. One of them's an 8th grader, and he's a good player, but I'm not going to throw him to the fire. He's really 14th player, but really I don't count on him to give us quality minutes yet. So we got down to 10, and it was like in the second quarter we only had 10 left, and we just had to find a way to get out of the game.
Yeah, you guys especially, you had a little bit of what the Heat did to you guys in your home opener, where you went up 6-0 against the defenders, and 8-6 at the half, and you guys managed to get out of that slump, get several touchdowns and such. So you guys are now 2-0, and you guys are going next against Webb, I believe, in their season opener.
Yep.
So it's going to be a good game for you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Next, we have the quarterback Justin Bader, who had a dominant game with so many passes and such. Now, I was saying on broadcast a little bit, Justin, and thank you for your time. I was saying a little bit on broadcast how you remind us a little bit of Ashlock, the senior quarterback last year for Sacred Heart, where you had the ability to scramble around in the pocket and be able to avoid the defenders and such. How do you talk to your offensive line to keep that strength and just keep that line solid so that you kind of have the time to pass around, but also what do you tell them when they kind of fail you and you have to scramble around and avoid the tackles?
I don't really tell them too much. They're usually a pretty good line. Just sometimes they miss some blocks. It happens to every team. That's really it. They're just a good line.
Yeah, and again, you did have a dominant game and such. You guys only had about one missed snap there, and unfortunately the defenders had many miscarriages of the ball and such. You had some dominant passes. Talk about the chemistry that you have with some of your other fellow seniors, that you're able to find them perfectly for their passes to get all those touchdowns tonight.
Like a lot of them are just first-time football players, so they're just really smart. So they seem to rolling out, and they seem to shed off into an open spot where no one's at, so they'll be wide open. So they usually do a lot of work for me.
Yeah, and you guys start out 2-0, and you go to the Webb School next week, and that's their season over. So congratulations on 2-0. Best of luck to you next week.
Appreciate it, sir.
All right, now Tyler's going to come on screen here, just going to kind of wrap up the game here, man. There's not much else we can really say here about this game. Both teams started out a little bit strong, had some of their slumps. It went to 8-6 at the half, but for it to result with 34-20 34-14 victory. I mean, what did the defenders do that kind of just made them go downhill in the second half?
It's hard to say. It's the snaps. They don't look like they're in the best shape that they should be. Don't want to throw anything bad at them. It's just what I'm seeing personally, in my own opinion. The snaps has killed them this game. The messed up handoffs in the backfield sometimes messed them up in this game. I would have said their passing, but their passing improved a lot the second half. But their running was good all game. And then the ejections, it happens. It's football. It happens all the time. But them ejections it wasn't a huge step back, but it was a little one.
Yeah. And of course, Coach Meek telling us that the player who started the fight and ripped out the helmet, he went over and apologized fully to the team. Just great sportsmanship on both sides, and apologizing and such. So a lot of great sportsmanship between these two teams, and I'm sure that this won't be the last we hear of the Defenders nor the Crusaders. Now let's preview a little bit for tomorrow. I won't be at the game tomorrow, but you and James will be on the call for the Battle of the Knights, Franklin Classical and Riverside Christian, both of them facing down in Fayetteville. And we haven't seen either of these teams play. This is their first game of the season, but FCS had their slump. They had to play against Hendersonville, who's co-op with the Heat. They had to play a non-league playoff game because neither Hendersonville nor FCS made the playoffs, and they had a one last scrimmage hurrah last season. And Riverside, they made the MTAC Bowl, and I believe they lost to Christian Community. So it's going to be interesting to see what those teams go forward into, with both of those teams being a fresh start on their season and such. But what are you expecting from that game?
Well, I don't know yet for sure, but I'm pretty sure one of my good friends from the All-Star game, Jax Nicholson, I'm pretty sure he was on some kind of Knights team. Not sure if it's the Knights team we're talking about, but I can't wait to see them. If it is his team, I can't wait to see them play. And I don't really know a lot about the league yet, because really last year is my first year being involved in TAC, so it's still a big learning process for me still. But I cannot wait, because tonight was really fun.
Absolutely, and you and James will be on the call tomorrow from Fayetteville. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night, the Franklin Classical School Knights going down to Fayetteville to face off against the Riverside Christian Academy Knights. And that game coverage will start with James and Trent at about 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Well, that wraps it up. 34-14, the final score here from Madisonville, Kentucky. The Defenders unfortunately lose 34-14 in their only home game so far in franchise history. I'm sure they will have more home games coming up, but we look to the future tomorrow, where it's Riverside and Franklin Classical. Ladies and gentlemen, for Trent Legate and James Shannon watching at home and giving us score updates mentioned in the booth, I'm Spencer Tomstead, voice of 8-Man Extreme. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Battle of the Knights. Good night, everyone.